All right, hello everybody, and welcome to From the Heart Friday with me, Jessica Brigden of JessBCreativeCardiology. And no, I'm not going to show you my face today because I look about as good as I sound. I have been pretty sick this week with a bad head cold, and so my voice is still pretty raspy. I've got a fizzy drink here nearby in case I do get to coughing, but I'm hoping that I can get through today's video because I missed you guys on Tuesday. Many thanks to those of you who left comments on my community post where I let you guys know I was sick. And so I have just been laying low all week. Hadn't even checked my YouTube stats to even see your comments until this afternoon. So yeah, haven't gotten much done this week. And unfortunately, I have gifted this to David. And so he's hanging in there, but his throat, he said his throat was on fire and he was sniffing all night long too. So we are doing the best that we can. I think we're going to live through it. I think I have finally turned the corner on this, and believe it or not, I am feeling better today than I have the past few days. So I think the end of this illness is in sight. David's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. All right, I can't laugh because I will get to coughing. So I thought I would share a couple of cute cards with you. I had a little idea of inspiration struck me. And so we will make some love cards today. And I thought it would be kind of fun to use my party alphabet dies. If you haven't seen these things are massive. All right, each alphabet die here is about 2 inches. So they are quite large. Okay, and you can get them bundled here with the party banners. Okay, this is quite I won't deny it. This is one of the pricier, or maybe the priciest item in the catalog. All right, these banners are huge, and so are the alphabet dies. But I wanted to just do a fun little card where we spell out the word love. And considering that a lot of you may have bonus day coupons that you earned last month from shopping, as well as some Stampin' rewards, when you combine those two, that's a good idea, a good way to get a discount, right, on one of these more expensive items. So we're going to use our alphabet dies today and this pretty Made with Love designer series paper. And we are going to not only make a fun shaker card, but we're going to use the negative pieces for a second card as well. All right. Hey, Diana. Happy anniversary coming up tomorrow. Hi, Phyllis. Thank you. All right. So you can tell from the colors that we're working with, we have some Flirty Flamingo and some Real Red. Those will be the colors that we're going to use today. Okay, so I've got my items ready to go. I do have my foam adhesive strips for my shakers. And then I've got my Made with Love here, the little assortments. These are little hearts, little letters, all kinds of fun stuff. And they're kind of a, almost like a rubbery kind, almost little confetti in there. So that's what we're going to use to fill our shaker card here. And then for the card that's not a shaker, I'm also using the Hearts of Love 3D embossing folder here. So let me show you what we are going to start with. Okay. And then, of course, some window sheets essential to shaker cards. All right, so I started out with one full sheet of Flirty Flamingo cardstock, and then I've cut that into 2 pieces at 5.5 by 8.5. All right, so we're going to fold this one here at 4.25. And then I am going to tuck my basic white piece inside. All right, always do that first before I forget what I'm doing. And I saw this was getting low. When you see the little red mark in here in your tape runner, that means it's getting low. So I don't know if it means I need to refill it quite yet or if I can get through this card. Either way, I do have some adhesive refill on hand just in case. All right, and then I have cut a layer of real red. All right, so I cut that the same size as the basic white that went inside. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Hi, Luann. Yes, and I can see your comment, so glad your chat is working. And I'm really hoping that today's video goes nice and smooth. While I was home sick, we did end up having, we have Time Warner, what do you call it? Spectrum Internet came out, and we did a speed test, all of that. They determined, yes, there was something showing up as to why our internet was glitching, which, you know, could be why my videos have been dropping partway through. And so they came out, they did a bunch of tests. They ended up replacing our modem. And then they said that there was actually an issue with a line that other people in the neighborhood were also showing to be having issues. And so David did get an email from them, I believe yesterday, that said that hopefully all that line issue was fixed. And so hopefully, right, thumbs up, hopefully that means that my internet issues are resolved. Okay, this should do it. Okay, yes, I do have a tape runner refill here because, of course, you're watching, Luann. Okay, so I used my Made with Love designer series paper. I cut this to 3 3/4 by 5, but I'm not going to glue this down because I'm going to show you. I've already got it set up here. All right, so I lined this up here on my cotton emboss. All right, so I did that 3 3/4 by 5, and I used my LOVE letters here, and I lined them up just so, and I actually already ran them through, okay, so that I could make this fun little panel. And make sure you save the center of the O for this. That's actually important for this project. Okay, so for our shaker, we are going to use this top panel, okay, and then we're going to save the alphabet die cuts here for the next project. Okay, so let me pop these out real quick. All right, and then the L, there we go. All right, so by using one sheet of designer series paper at 3 3/4 by 5, we are going to get the pieces we need for both cards. Okay, so on this piece, this is what we are going to do with our window sheet. Now, this is 3 3/4 by 5, and I did not want the window sheet exactly the same size. No, I want my window sheet, and I don't know if you can really see that on here. I wanted this just a little bit smaller, okay, so that it fits here on the back, okay, because once we put the shaker filling in, we don't want it falling through, right? So that's why you need your window sheet. So by doing this, I can put a little bit of my tape runner here all along the edges. Actually, I can put it anywhere that I have the designer series paper because you're not going to see that part. Okay, this is the window sheet is going to stick to the front of this. Okay, and get it all the way down there. So now that I've got some good sticky on this, we can place our window sheet right over the top. So since my designer paper layer was 3.75 by 5, all right, I did my window sheet at, I didn't go quite to 3.5. I went like an 1/8. All right, so I did 3 5/8. All right, so my window sheet was 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay, it's just a smidge. Okay, it's really, really close. All right, but now that I have that, okay, and It was close because these letters really are quite large, and I'm hoping I have just enough of a border around my, might be a little narrow down here by the E, but I want to have just enough of a border that I can take these adhesive strips and run right along the edge so that I can put my confetti inside. Okay, so I'm gonna go right up along the edge. Okay, hopefully not sticking out over the top. Okay, and here we go. And then just curve it. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 with your foam adhesive strips here. All right, it's 141825. You get 2 sheets, all right, with a total of 40 strips. And that's not including the edges because just like, I mean, essentially they're strips of dimensionals. So you can use the edge pieces too. Okay, so then just make sure when you are combining here, you butt them right up close to one another so that they don't, you don't want to leave any gaps for your shaker filling to fall out the side. Okay, and then same thing, come right up close to the edge and then use your snips to cut that as close as you can without leaving any gaps, okay? And then I always tuck the little extra pieces over here because you never know. You don't always do such a large piece. You might want a smaller piece, okay? And so I think I was trying to decide. I don't quite have enough room across the centerpiece. I was thinking, well, maybe I would divide the letters a little bit, but I think because they are so large and this is quite a little narrow strip, I'm just gonna do shaker right in the middle. Hey, Janelle, good to have you on here live. Oh, thank you guys for your well wishes, and I am feeling better. I'm getting there, not 100% yet, but I did actually leave the house for the first time all week and ran to the pharmacy to refill my cart with some ginger ale and some more cold medicine and some more tissues. So, all right. Okay, so now we've got our confetti, our filling ready to go. And you know, I'm gonna be pretty generous with this because I've got a lot of space and I want it to have some fun shaking going on. All right, don't get too enthusiastic because you might shake it outside your card here. Let's see, that was 1, 2. Well, let's go with a 3rd pinch. I mean, you get quite a bit in this container here. You can make quite a few shaker cards with your little assortment here. 167074 is the number on that. Okay, and then, well, all right, so that showed how many I had. Really, you kind of want to actually take that shaker goodness and put it right in the center, right? So that when you peel the strip off your card, you can center it. Yeah, so just do that. Put it right in the middle. Okay, clear the edges. That is the, you do it the hard way like I did, but that way it kind of give you an idea of how much shaker you need. All right, but really you don't want to peel the tape off until it's ready. Otherwise, when you flip it over, it will spill everywhere. You don't want that. And it's hard to take the card and then line it up on this. So it's usually easier to do it this way. Okay. All right, double check. Got any loose shaker bits? Okay. Then line this up on top here. All right, I might have to shake it a little bit because it's a little thick there in the middle. Okay. Oh, it came out cute. Look at that. So fun. Okay, I got a couple of loose pieces. All right, and then we do need the center for our O because otherwise that does look a little bit odd. Okay, so do that. And we'll put the center back here. Just tape it to the front of our shaker. All right, and there you go. Super cute shaker card. Lots of filling. Super fun. All right, and then, oops, I got another little spare. Okay. I don't think I've got any. I've got a couple little pieces hanging out the bottom, so let's tuck them back in there. Come on here. You're not supposed to be poking out the bottom. Get in there. All right, doing a little surgery there. Make sure that they are not where they're not supposed to be. Okay, now I got a nice smooth edge. All right. Okay, I don't see any more escapees. Looks like we're smooth all the way around. Okay, so we're good. Okay, now we had the letters that popped out. So let's take the other half here of our Flirty Flamingo cardstock. All right, go ahead and fold this. Now you might be wondering, well, I did this LO and then layered VE. It's because these letters are so large that to do it on a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, they barely fit. Okay, so I can show you this way and then you can see which way you prefer. All right, so same thing, Flirty Flamingo, place your basic white, that's 4 by 5 1/4 on the inside. Okay. Oh, good, Luann. Yes, contender for the anniversary card. I can't say too much because my mother-in-law, Diana, is watching, and she and my father-in-law are celebrating their anniversary this weekend, too. So I can't say if this will be one of her cards or not. I don't know. I have to decide, see how much she likes it. And there you go. I just ran out of my tape runner there. So, all right, let's refill this real quick. But I did think this would be cute. Now I'm using the little heart paper right now, but you could use this same layout, same letters, same thing, and maybe just change the color of your confetti. Like I was thinking the, what is it? We have pretty floral specialty paper that I was thinking would be really pretty for this as well, for more of maybe a spring anniversary. Okay, it even work as a nice, even as a like a wedding card too. So thank you, ladies. Oh, good, Diane. She said she likes it. So. Okay, so we did real red on the top, the basic white on the inside. Now, because I've already used the full sheet here of the Made with Love Designer Series paper, I've cut a piece of basic white that's a little bit smaller, okay, 3 3/4 by 5 on this. And this is where that Hearts of Love embossing folder comes in. Yes, 47 years to David's parents. Congratulations. Woohoo. Yes, it was a big year. 47 for Bill and Diana. And it will be 25 for my parents or excuse me, 50 for my parents and 25 for David and I. So 2026 is a big year for anniversaries all around. All right, so I'm using that little guideline here on the front of the embossing folder to make sure my paper is straight. Isn't it, I don't know if you can see it. There's like little rainbows of hearts. Okay, now this is a 3D folder. Okay, so make sure when you're doing that whether it's your big shot or your cut and emboss, all right, you go right down to your base, no tabs. All right, put your plate on, your embossing folder on with your fold going forward. Okay, and then you're gonna use your, if you've got the cut and emboss, this is gray plate number 4. And if you have the big shot, all right, then you may have it was a blue adapter plate, or plate number 4 would also work. If you didn't get the blue adapter, you can order plate number 4 separately to work. And this works really well with their, with the 3D folders. Oh, wow, your parents' 60th. Dad said at their 60th, the first 60 are the worst. That's funny. Well, congratulations on your parents for celebrating 60. That is amazing. Congratulations. Oh. Okay, so did that. Now can you guys see how cute those little rainbow of hearts are? So fun. Okay, so this one I did landscape horizontally. All right, I'm not gonna glue it down yet. I did actually pre-emboss one vertically, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna line these letters up and see what we think, okay? See which way we prefer. So if we can get them, if we wanna overlap them, all right, they will just fit. We can spread it out here, landscape-wise, okay? So something about like that, okay? So what do you guys think? Do you want the love spelled out like this, all right, landscape? Or would you prefer it like the original, like this, with them stacked? Okay. So which do you prefer? Do you like it spelled right out, or do you like it stacked? All right, I'll let you guys leave me a comment. And while you are doing that, I'm going to get my dimensionals ready. Okay, and we're gonna put some dimensionals, and these letters are so large, you can actually use your full size dimensionals on these with no problems, okay? So, all right, I think I'm gonna do like 4 dimensionals per letter. A landscaping and a zigzag. Okay, so yeah, if you do landscape, then I do kind of have to, I see what you mean, kind of doing one up, one down, one up. Is this what you mean, Luann? Am I speaking your language here? Kind of like that, so that they are, let's see, can kind of stagger them. Okay, yes. All right, good. All right, so that's an option too. So we've got landscape, kind of overlap, landscape, staggered, and then we have stacked. Okay, so, all right, looks like everybody's saying landscape. Okay, so we're doing landscape. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere my embossed heart layer first. Okay. All right, Diana says yes, landscape is nice. Yeah, it makes the 2 cards different. Yep, exactly. Okay, and then I've got the other piece I can do something else with. So let's see here. Before we remove the sticky, okay, let's just check this out, see which way we want to go here. Do we want, let's see, do I want, oh, I think I kind of like that. Yeah, I like the L up. I think I prefer that. Yeah, what do you guys think? Okay, so let me put the E on first, because that way everything else can kind of overlap over it. So let's see, put my E on here. That looks good. So I'm actually gonna kind of work a little bit backwards. All right, yes, Luann likes the L up. Okay, good, good. Okay, so oddly enough, I am working, instead of left to right, I'm actually working from right to left. Going a little bit backwards here, but that way the letters can overlap just a little bit as need be here. All right, so you got just a little overlap. Okay, and then my O. So by using the letter dies, by using both the die cuts and the negative piece, you get 2 cards with 1 here. All right, I think my O and my E are about even. Yeah, it's pretty even. Okay, and then the slight overlap there. And then my L. All right, my L and my V. Yes, and then this is spaced equally as this. This one's, oh, I forgot to remove the backing. That's why that one wasn't stuck down all the way. All right, come in on this. That way everything is lined up. All right, looks good. Yeah, cute, huh? So, 2 cards in one. Of course, you could use any alphabet dies, but larger dies like this are handy, okay, even though they are so big. But yeah, if you haven't checked these out yet, this was the Party Alphabet dies. Party Banner, what am I saying here? These are the Party Banner dies with the Party Alphabet dies, okay? And I have to check, I'm not sure. I think you can get them separately, so you don't have to do, I'm not sure if it's one whole set or if it's 2. All right, you can double check that. All right, but the rest of the products here, the designer paper, the embossing folder, and our confetti here was all part of the Made with Love Sweet collection. All right, and I believe that was all in stock currently. But go ahead, it'd be fun to check this out too with even just some pretty floral paper. Anything would work. All right, and make sure, it's always good to have some foam adhesive strips and some window sheets on hand. The window sheets, they come in a pack of 12 by 12. You get 2 12 by 12. And I know 2 sheets doesn't sound like much, but when you're only using a small portion at a time, it comes in pretty handy. You can actually get quite a few, all right, from just one pack. All right, there you go. And I made it through without coughing or blowing my nose. Woohoo! Made it through with the video not dropping. So hopefully Spectrum did fix our issue there. Whew. All right, success all the way around. And we've got 2 fun love cards for your sweetheart, or your anniversary, or wedding, whatever you've got coming up. Love cards, so much more fun to make rather than sympathy cards and things like that, which we've been making like crazy here. So thank you guys. Glad you tuned in today, and appreciate you putting up with my squeaky voice. And hopefully we'll be all back to normal and sound good next Tuesday. And I do just want to take a moment and show you, I just got this paper in my order. It came yesterday. This is the Painted Illusions product of the month, and it just became available this month. This is the February product of the month. Check out the gorgeousness of this paper. Lots of like bright colors, but kind of a soft watercolor palette to them. And what's different about this one, which I didn't realize until I opened it here just before I went live, you actually get 3 sheets of each pattern. So you have 4 double-sided designs, 3 of each, which is kind of nice that if you're working on a project, sometimes it's nice to have more than 2 sheets. All right, so that you can, and we've got kind of this scaly rainbow mermaid pattern there. This one kind of reminds me of leaves, so maybe I'll do that next week. I had an idea for some inspiration with the with this pattern, and I was thinking where is it? They're really pretty leaves. The other sweet here. All right. The one that goes with the exploring nature. Anyways, it's got that really pretty, gorgeous large leaf. And I was thinking that would be really fun to go with this. So here it is. Yes, we've got this really beautiful leaf from Nature Symphony. I'm thinking that would work really well with that. All right, that's my inspiration. I think I'll do that on Tuesday. So you guys better tune back in. Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, yes, the leaves would be pretty as hallway paper. That would be pretty. I actually sometimes, my favorite designer series papers, I do I frame them, and I actually do have them as artwork in my hallway. Isn't this pretty? The colors, we've got Flirty Flamingo, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, some Misty Moonlight in here, some Granny Apple Green, Petal Pink, and I believe this is the Darling Duckling in there too. So this is really pretty. So the product of the month, you can choose your product of the month for free when you place a $75 order, right? Limit to one of each product of the month per person. All right, so if you got the True Blue Florals was December's product, the Lovely Phrases was January's, and then this one is February. However, if you do not have any of the other two, as long as they're still available, then you can choose whichever one you would prefer. Yes, reminds me of really pretty summer colors. So I'm excited. All right, I will get working so that I have things prepared for Tuesday. We'll use that gorgeous new Painted Illusions. Whew, that's quite a name, Painted Illusions. All right, thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give me that thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you later. Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.